Hi, VC, it's Aaron, Mitha Alamere. Today I got a Grail, and it's a record store day release, and I live in Idaho, and where I live, you have to drive like 4 hours to go to a record store day, either 4 hours across the state or down to Utah, and I just don't do that because you never know if you're going to be able to find something, and the lines, and I work in the morning, so I'm not able to really do the record store day experience. But luckily, I have some great friends in the vinyl community. And one of my greatest friends is JC from the flip side, Josh, and he picked up a record for me. When he saw that it was being released, I sent him the money for it so he could pick it up for me, and I'm so happy I got it finally. It's Saigon Kick, the Lizard. This has been one of my grails for years. And since I've been recollecting records, I've always had about 500 to 1,000 records my whole life. Well, since I was a teenager. And back then, I only bought, cheap things or very special records. This one here came out in 1992, and it was only available as an import back then, so I never picked it up on vinyl. I picked it up on cassette, and I still have my CD of it. One of my favorite albums of 1992, and it's my favorite album by Saigon Kick, and I really love Saigon Kick. They're a very different band. But luckily, that's what's so cool about the vinyl community is you can, you have friends that maybe live in places where they're able to find record store day things much easier because they're, it's in their town. So thank you, Josh, for sending me this. I really appreciate it. It's one of my biggest grails I've had. And like I said, I've been, since I've been seriously recollecting the last 10, 15 years, I've been after this, and I just have never found a copy for cheap enough. It's always a lot of money overseas, and I finally got it, so I'm really happy. And this band, Saigon Kick, so what happened is I live in Idaho, but I'm from Portland, Oregon. I went to visit my family in Portland in 1991. I think it was 1991. Had to have been because I was old enough to drink. And I was there for 2 weeks, and a couple of my best friends had just moved there, so they were living there. And they said, oh, there's a concert coming up this weekend at the Roseland Theater, and it's Saigon Kick. And I said, well, I don't really know Saigon Kick. I might have heard one song on MTV. And so I went and bought the cassette, which I still have, of the first cassette right here. And listened to it for 2 days before we went to the concert. I think it was on a Friday night at the Roseland Theater. It was really cool. And so by the time we got to there, I knew this whole album was it was just so different. I really loved it. And, they're kind of, they got lumped into the hair band, glam thing, but they're a little different. They're a little more sophisticated. They're a little more sophisticated musically and lyrically. They're not just singing about, girls and cars, which they do a little bit, but I mean, it's not just that. They have a lot more substance to them. And, they almost have like a little bit of alternative feel mixed in with the hard rock, heavy metal, and maybe a little psychedelia. And I've always thought they were great. And so I went to the concert. It was a great show. I was having a great time. For some reason, all these girls were giving me their phone numbers. It was really weird. My friends were like, what's going on here? Because none of them did. And I was visiting. They lived there. It was pretty fun. But so after the show, we were hanging out outside. We just took the bus down to the place. And so we were just hanging out. And next thing you know, a couple of the guys from the band came out, and they went right over to us, and they talked to us for like over an hour. Just sat there and talked to us and hung out. Really cool guys. So they're actually my favorite band from Florida. This is a great record too, their debut. It's got stuff like, Love of God, Acid Rain's one of my favorites. They always have a little quirky thing here and there. On this one, it is, they have a ballad called Come Take Me Now. They've always done a ballad or two. And, they got Down by the Ocean. They play a kazoo on one song on this. Pretty cool. But they're really different. I really love these guys. And so this has been one of my biggest grails on vinyl. The Lizard, their second album. And it's an excellent album. It had their biggest hit they ever had, which is Love Is on the Way. It's a ballad. It's one of those I never got sick of because it wasn't too overplayed, really. They also have another ballad called All I Want, which is really good. But the heavy stuff on here, like Hostile Youth and Freedom, Feel the Same Way, Peppermint Tribe, Body Bags, Social Naps and Body Bags. I love that song. Amazing, amazing record. So killer. Now they just need to release this on vinyl as well, a reissue. I need to get this on vinyl, which is their third Water. Love that one too. They do a version of Space Oddity from, you know, I can't think of David Bowie, of course, on here. Yeah, but this is a very solid album too. I don't actually have The Devil in the Details, which is their 4th album and last album, and I need to get that. I've heard it. I love it. My favorite band from Florida. Love Saigon Kick. So happy to finally have The Lizard on vinyl. It's one of my favorite albums of the early 90s, and it's an absolute great record. And thank you so much, Josh, for picking this up and sending it to me. So, all right, everybody, I hope you all had a great record store day. And I do my record store day through my friends, which is really cool. And I've got some great friends. And thank you to all my friends and everybody out there. And I will see you next time. Goodbye.